Now, you know how all the closing of all these pipelines and the things going on in Europe, shutting down the pipeline over there, the whole agenda of making the gas prices so high that people can't afford to drive their gas-powered cars because Joe Biden wants everybody to drive an electric car. And now they have had the batteries that are lithium batteries catch on fire in these electric cars. Well, something really cool kind of happened. Lisbon, Portugal, and this is kind of like, to me, this is like God's answer to all of this rhetoric about everybody having electric cars and not being able to have gasoline anymore, which is why they've been hiking the prices up so severely. And also making it where we can't get car parts to fix our cars, which is what I'm finding out is a big issue for the damage that was just done to my vehicle by the tire place when I had my tire slashed, and they put a jack underneath the front fender and bent it and crumpled it and pulled it outward. It's over $2,000 worth of damage. Well, listen to this. God intervened with the electric car situation. Lisbon, Portugal. A large cargo vessel carrying cars from Germany to the United States sank Tuesday in the mid-Atlantic, 13 days after a fire broke out on board, the ship's manager in the Portuguese Navy said. The Felicity Ace sank about 400 kilometers, 250 miles off Portugal's Azores Islands as it was being towed, MOL Ship Management in Singapore said in a statement. A salvage team had put out the fire. The 200-meter long, which is 650-foot long vessel, listed to starboard before going under, the ship's manager said. The Portuguese Navy confirmed the sinking, saying it occurred outside Portuguese waters. A Portuguese Air Force helicopter evacuated the 22 crew members when the fire first broke out, setting the ship adrift. Ocean-going tugboats with firefighting equipment had been hosing down the ship's hull to cool it. It wasn't clear how many cars were on board the ship, but vessels of the Felicity Ace's size can carry at least 4,000 vehicles. European car makers declined to discuss how many vehicles and what models were on board, but Porsche customers in the United States were being contacted by their dealers, the company said. We are already working to replace every car affected by this incident, and the first new cars will be built soon, Angus Fitton, vice president of PR at Porsche Cars North America Incorporated, told the Associated Press in an email. The ship was transporting electric and non-electric vehicles, according to Portuguese authorities. Suspicion on what started the fire on February 16th has fallen on lithium batteries used in electric vehicles, though authorities say they have no firm evidence about the cause. Authorities feared the ship could pollute the ocean. The ship was carrying 2,000 metric tons of fuel and 2,000 metric tons of oil. It can carry more than 17,000 metric tons of cargo. The Portuguese Navy said in a statement that only a few pieces of wreckage and a small patch of oil were visible where the ship went down. The tugboats were breaking up the patch with hoses, it said. The Portuguese Air Force plane and a Portuguese Navy vessel are to remain at the scene on the lookout for signs of pollution. That was something reported by the Associated Press and was in CBN's news report this week. So, do you want to have an electric car with a lithium battery start a big old fire and burn your house down, parking it in your garage where you think it's safe? you know. And just the way the Titanic went down when people were mocking God about that God couldn't even sink it. Well, God showed them the truth, that He's in control of everything. And that stupid statement went down to the bottom of the ocean, you know, numerous miles down. And this one sank down there too, with all these electric cars. So thank God they didn't make it to the United States. And let's just pray that God would intervene and bring us leaders that would be for the gas-driven cars that we drive now, and that the prices of gas would go down, way down where they should be, instead of this outrageous, ridiculous increase. Not only they're increasing the prices of the gasoline because they don't want us to drive gas-driven cars, but also, have you noticed how the meat, all kinds of beef, is an outrageous price? And they don't want you to eat meat. They're trying to create the lab meat. Don't just think that these things are just happenstance. You know, it's just truly being driven by the new worthless order. And actually they're going against what God said in the Bible, because He said that all of these things were for our food. The meat was for our food. The vegetables, the nuts from the trees, everything that He created was for our food. So that by saying that we are not allowed to eat meat anymore because too much carbons are from the cows and all of this stuff is going against God and what God said. And God said that that was for us to eat, and it was good, and He blessed it. And if we give thanks to God for the meat and for everything that we eat, it's sanctified through prayer. So anyway, I just thought that that was just an amazing answer from God, to have that sink to the bottom of the ocean so that we are not stuck with these catastrophe electric cars. And you know, since the fact that it was pointed out, Lisa Boyce pointed out about China supplying the components for the electrical grid of the United States, how stupid is that? So that they could actually do something in Beijing to affect the electrical grid here. So now if you got all of these electric cars and they're all plugged in and getting charged, and they have control to flip a switch in Beijing that shuts off the power grid over here, just think of what that would do. It's absurd. You know, it's just absurd. God is certainly in control, as He shows in the sinking of that ship. And this new worthless order won't get away with all of their evil schemes, because Jesus is coming, and He's far more powerful than you will ever be. It's the Lord God Almighty, and He's taking things back and restoring things before the curse, and there's nothing you can do to stop Him. So anyway, I wanted to share that kind of interesting, cool story. So now you can see why all of these things are happening, you know, and the control of the mask wearing and all of that. You know, I'm going to have a celebratory bonfire, and I'm going to burn every single mask I have in a fire pit. Won't that be neat? I'll talk to you later.